So let's dig a little deeper into the week that was at the state capitol with eCapitol News Director Sean Ashley. Sean, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Now this week, Governor Stitt getting a little bit more authority, at least over larger agencies, and the Republicans say yay, and the Democrats maybe not so thrilled. What's going on?
Well, there are 5 bills that are moving through the legislative process, 3 which are ready to be heard by the Senate, and 2 which will be considered in a House committee this next week. As you said, these would give the governor authority to appoint agency directors at 5 of the larger state agencies. Republicans have called for similar provisions in the past. They say it's important to accountability and transparency and to making sure that the executive branch functions cohesively under the authority of the governor. Democrats, in looking at these bills, are pointing to a couple of issues. One is the lack of a defined confirmation process for these new agency directors. Exactly how deep into their background will the governor and the legislature dig, and exactly how will they go about confirming these individuals to those positions. The bills also make changes to the agency boards and commissions that are involved. And one member of the Senate pointed out the other day that this is eliminating the qualifications for those board members. Anyone could be picked. But Senate President Pro Tem Greg Treat said that what this does is to give the governor and the legislature flexibility in appointing those board members. Those bills certainly will pass, and it appears that Governor Stitt will sign them because they represent an agreement between Republican legislative leaders and the governor.
The state Senate putting some requirements in place for medicinal abortion. So first of all, kind of explain what that is and what have they done here?
Right. Over the last several years, the process of abortion using medication has been made legal in the state of Oklahoma and across the United States for that matter. It involves 2 different drugs which are taken one after the other. There is a process that is endorsed by some OBGYNs that if you, after taking the first pill, if a woman were to change her mind and decide not to go forward with the abortion, she can take another drug to sort of counteract that first one and not take the second drug that is part of the abortion process. It's a controversial procedure not endorsed by all OBGYNs, and what this bill would do would simply provide her information that there is an alternative if she changes her mind after taking the first drug.
Okay, let's talk about the House a little bit. Now they've allowed for a bill that would take into account previous offenses in domestic abuse cases. Now, some say that is not constitutional. Where does that stand?
Yeah, the bill passed the House and is now headed to the Senate for consideration. And what you saw is bipartisan support and bipartisan opposition to this bill. Because, as you mentioned, it is previous offenses, allegations, not actual convictions that could be used in a court when a new allegation is brought forward. That concerns a number of members that you're looking at an unproven allegation being brought into the courtroom. Generally speaking, that's not allowed in other criminal settings.
Really quickly, if we can get to this, the Senate passing a bill that would make it more difficult for these puppy mills to sell animals. Where do we stand?
That bill has passed the Senate. It is now headed to the House, and quite simply, it does what you said. It would prohibit pet stores from selling animals purchased from puppy mills and limit the sources of animals which they could sell.
Once again, Sean, thank you very much.
You're very welcome.